Spoilers ahead for the One Piece manga. If you're not caught up and don't want to be spoiled, feel free to leave this video now and potentially check out one of my other videos. Even if you don't, thanks for clicking on this video in the first place. With One Piece celebrating its 1000th chapter in the most recent issue of Shonen Jump, it's easy to completely focus in on the battle that's currently happening in Onigashima. How could you not when Luffy just rang the fight bell by punching Kaido with his Red Rock attack? But episode 957 aired this past weekend and gave us manga readers a big reminder. The world outside of Wano is changing, and some of the biggest events to date in the series could be happening off-screen. With that in mind, I wanted to go over what we know and theorize what could be in this video, so let's jump right on into it. Let's start with arguably the biggest development that we know about, the abolishment of the Shikibukai system. As a result of the king's decision at the Reverie, one of the three major powers of the world was eliminated. Now Mihawk, Buggy, Boa Hancock, and Weevil are free game for the Navy, and we see just that. Naval fleets and troops close in on all four of them before the next episode/chapter, when the history of the Rocks pirates gets discussed. Now, unless they've got someone really strong headlining each of these attacks, I can't see the Navy succeeding in taking down the Shikibukai. They're not as strong as the Yonko, other than Mihawk possibly, since we've never seen him fight at 100%, but these pirates and their crews aren't to be underestimated. Buggy maybe, but Oda isn't going to just straight up capture him again. Honestly, imagine Buggy escaping Impel Down with Luffy only to be shoved right back in 2 years later. Wouldn't be out of character for Buggy, but it would be anticlimactic. The one interaction I'm interested in finding out about is the one with Boa and Amazon Lily. We know that Kobe is on one of the ships heading her way, and obviously he's an ally of Luffy's, as is Boa. But that most likely won't mean anything if there's a number of vice admirals there to carry out Boa's capture. She and the Amazons won't go down without a fight though. If I had to guess, at least one of the Shikibukai will get captured, but it all depends on which members of the Navy get sent to apprehend whom. If Fujitora, Green Bull, and Kizaru were dispatched, then somebody is getting caught. Worst case scenario, it's Boa. They all know what her devil fruit does to men, and Kobe could be a fake out to lure us into a false sense of security. Really hope I'm wrong though. The other big development, and the one that will more than likely cause even bigger waves, is the news around Sabo. Or at least the implied news. There was an assassination attempt and a supposed death, and the Revolution Army is currently reeling from the news. They've lost contact with their personnel that went to Marijois and have no means of immediately discerning the truth. Now, Dragon doesn't seem like the kind of man to just jump into action with reckless abandon, but I feel like even he could be swayed now that his chief of staff might be dead. We as the readers know that Sabo isn't dead. Oda wouldn't reintroduce him into Luffy's life just for him to be killed off screen. That's not an Oda thing. Killing Absalom off screen? Sure, but not Sabo. It is possible that somebody took the fall for Sabo and posed as him in his place. There are 3 revolutionary commanders still unaccounted for, too. Karasu, Morley, and Lindbergh. Anyone could be dead at this point, or no one at all. But I do think this will mobilize the Revolutionary Army in some kind of greater capacity. For all we know, the Revolutionary Army could be making their last stand by the time we've finished Wano. Past the news, with Sabo and the Shikibukai, we get into more speculative territory. Let's start with the world government side of things. We've been left with a few open-ended tidbits. Here's what we know. Before the Reverie officially starts, Shanks met with the Gorosei, the 5-star elders, to discuss another pirate. At some point during the Reverie, the Gorosei meet with the mysterious Imu, who sits on the empty throne. They kneel before Imu and ask for the name of the light that needed to be extinguished from history. Important to note here that Imu had pictures/wanted posters of Luffy, Blackbeard, Vivi, and Shirahoshi. Something has happened to Vivi and or Alabasta, possibly because of Imu. And lastly, we know that Cypher Pole Age 0 has been seen in some capacity in Wano by Drake after seeing his sword conversation with Kobe. No word on which members were seen, but we do know that Lucci, Kaku, Stussy, and the tall masked member with the long black hair were last seen at the Reverie. A lot to unpack here, but I'll save the Shanks stuff for just a little bit later. let's talk about the Vivi stuff first. We know that the Nefertaris are viewed disdainfully by the Celestial Dragons for leaving Marijois, so it's possible that they want to either eliminate Vivi or reclaim her. Vivi's father requested an audience with the Gorosei, so I don't think they plan on killing her, and just like Sabo, it would be really weird for her to be killed off screen. That just doesn't happen for people that are important to Luffy. As such, I think that Vivi has been either captured and or forced into a marriage situation similar to Sanji in a Whole Cake. And I know that's a stretch, but hear me out. Regardless of what happened to her, I don't think she was allowed to return to Alabasta. Oda is definitely trying to reintegrate her into the story right now for post Wano, but we'll need to see and wait to see what kind of shape that takes. And then we've got CP0 in Wano, which technically goes against the title of the video, but bear with me here. Wano is unaffiliated with the world government. The Navy has its hands full with the Shikibukai and doesn't have the manpower to send toward Wano despite Big Mom and Kaido teaming up. So why is CP0 here? What's their goal? Wano is a key piece in history given that Odin was from Wano and he had a major impact on history during his time with Whitebeard and Goldie Roger. It's possible that CP0 is being instructed to secure something or someone in the country. Or if Luffy's wanted poster in Imu's hand is any indication, they might be after Luffy while he's in Wano. Though if I had to guess, they would most likely attempt to assassinate him after his fight with Big Mom and Kaido. Regardless of what happens, Oda wouldn't have Drake drop that line about CP0 if it wasn't important, especially since he brought it up in his secret conversation with Kobe. It's even possible that a CP0 agent is in Onigashima as we speak. Stussy was undercover for Whole Cake. Lucci and his CP9 group were undercover for years with Iceberg. It's not outside the realm of possibilities that someone is doing the exact same thing in Kaido's group. Now that said, I'm really curious to see what the motive here is. How does it compare and contrast to Drake's mission as a part of Sword? Or maybe Drake is the target of CP0. So much theorizing here. Now moving past that, the last thing we need to talk about is the situation with the Yonko, specifically Shanks and Blackbeard. Shanks met with the Gorosei and Blackbeard is on the move to claim something before the Navy does. All the while, the majority of Big Mom and Kaido's forces are in Wano. Let's talk about Shanks first. Why did he choose to speak with the Gorosei of all people? Is he trying to talk to them about Blackbeard? Or is that too obvious? Is it possible that he's asking about a dead pirate, or maybe someone involved in the God Valley incident? One of the major themes of the Wano arc right now is intertwining timelines intersecting into one moment, one fight. Kaido, Big Mom, and Whitebeard were once members of the Rocks Pirates under the captain Rox D. Zebek. 38 years ago, the Rocks Pirates were attacking the Celestial Dragons on an island known as God Valley. It's here that Garp and Roger teamed up to take them on and defend the Celestial Dragons, for whatever reason. Also of note here is that this is the event where Big Mom gave Kaido his Devil Fruit. In the present day, Shanks is 39 years old, 1 year older than when the God Valley incident took place. I think that the reason why he would entertain meeting with the Gorosei of all people is because they would have knowledge about this event from a different perspective than the Roger Pirates. Now, it's very possible that Shanks meeting the Gorosei and Sengoku discussing the Rocks Pirates are two completely separate, non-related things. The Rocks Pirates were brought up to explain Big Mom and Kaido's bounties and their history together. But it would be cool as hell for them to actually be connected. So that's really why I want to make this theory. I think it's really interesting. Now, besides Shanks, we do need to talk about Blackbeard too. He and his crew are about to mobilize and get their hands on something or someone before the Navy does. This could honestly be anything. Blackbeard was playing 4-dimensional chess pre-time skip, so he could be going after anything from a devil fruit to a major weapon to an important location, or maybe even something poneglyph related. For all we know, he could even be attempting to take over some of Big Mom or Kaido's territory while they're in Onigashima. The Viz translation for this particular moment goes like this. Pack your bags, onto the ship. If the Navy's only going to take it, I might as well claim the prize. Whether or not there's some deeper meaning lost in translation, Blackbeard is currently after something the Navy is after. Maybe it's one of the Shikibukai, or maybe it's one or more of the nobles that were escorted back to their kingdoms by the Navy. Maybe even Shirahoshi. His target could also be Sabo, or one or more of the other revolutionaries. Whatever, or whoever it is, Blackbeard's target has to be incredibly important for him to rally his crew and leave his pirates' paradise island. If Wano ends up being 5 acts, I think we'll get a peek into one or more of these topics we covered, at least in some small capacity. The previous interludes were 1 chapter and 2 chapters respectively. If I had to guess, Act 3 will end and Act 4 will begin once Onigashima crashes down onto the Flower Capital. That would certainly be a big enough tragedy in the vein of a kabuki play. And while there's no guarantee that this will be a 5-act story, Wano has followed this format so far, so it's fun to theorize and speculate leading up to the next potential info dump if we do get another interlude. Now, what do you guys think? Do you think any of my theories are correct, or am I completely off base here? Did I give you a light bulb moment on a certain topic, or am I missing something even bigger? Do you like these theory videos and or me talking about One Piece and want to hear me talk about more? I want to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you for being here. If you liked the video, hitting that like button would be fantastic. And if you're not subscribed already and want to see more of my content, it would be even more fantastic if you hit that subscribe button. At the time of recording this video, we are super close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, and I am really excited for when we hit that goal. Thank you to everyone that's made that possible so far. Your support means more to me than you know, and this whole experience so far has been absolutely humbling for me, so thank you. And if you want to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube, feel free to follow me on Twitter or join my Discord server. Links to both are down in the description. Until next time, my name is Axel Blaze, and just watch as Oda trolls us all somehow. Enel comes down from the moon in the intermission between Acts 3 and 4. That would be a very Oda thing to do. Bye-bye, everybody.